What's up, guys? Sci-Fi Guy 2094 here. Today I have a really good review. I'm going to be talking about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein on Netflix. So this is a great film. This is a Netflix original, and I'm just going to talk about it briefly because I don't want to spend too much time on it because this is a very long. It's like an epic drama, sci-fi, romance. It's all there. So initially, I thought this was going to be a horror movie, but it's not at all. So we've seen Frankenstein so many times in cinema, throughout film and TV, and I remember Frankenstein like there was a movie that I saw, like maybe the original, and I saw a couple scenes back when I was a kid, but I didn't really grow up watching Frankenstein. Obviously, he's an iconic monster. Even as a kid on Halloween, I had a Frankenstein mask that I went trick or treating with. So he's an iconic hero, or not an iconic hero, but a an iconic character. I guess some people could consider him a hero. He's seen as a monster, but anyway, that's what we're going to get into. So this film by Guillermo del Toro is basically split into two parts. Okay, so initially we see Victor. This is like in the 1850. I think it's in like 1855, and we see these group of sailors. They're out on the ice. They see this explosion, and they go and see what's happening, and then they find Victor. Okay, they bring him back, and they bring him onto the ship, and then I think they're like Russians. It sounds like they're speaking Russian, and they're trying to figure out like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? And Victor tells them there's something after me, and you have to promise me that when he comes for me, or when it comes for me, that you'll put me out on the ice for it to take me. These people don't know like anything that's going on, and eventually the monster comes, the thing that's hunting him, and it kills a few men, and they're able to defend themselves a little bit because they shoot the ice, and then the creature falls through the ice, and they're able to kind of ward him off for a little while, but it doesn't help too much. And basically that's when Victor tells his entire side of the story about what he's done in his past, and just how this creature came to be and why it's after him. Okay, so I'm going to kind of leave that there because I don't want to get too much into the whole act, the first act, which is told from Victor Frankenstein's point of view. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And of course, it shows his childhood, and he was like the son of like this wealthy noble who was a doctor, and his father wants to like instill these values and this tenacity so he can become like the best surgeon. And it's not until his mother dies during childbirth that he decides to become like the best doctor and surgeon of his own accord, because he's kind of traumatized by the death of his mother. Okay, and then so we see when he's studying and doing all his things with cadavers and the human body and everything when he's an adult, and we see kind of his obsession with wanting to advance science and bring the dead back to life, or rather just cheat death. Okay, so that's the first half. It's very intriguing. It's very great. And then we have the second half. We have part two of the movie, which is all from the creature's point of view. And this creature is basically almost like a newborn baby, because once we see it from his point of view, and we see that he basically is just like, well, he's a baby. Basically, Victor's trying to teach him things, and we see how he's not accepted. We see that his father, basically his creator, tried to kill him, and he resents him, he hates him, he vows to like get revenge on him. And we see how he basically falls in love with Elizabeth, which is Victor's, I guess it would be his soon to be sister-in-law, but because of Victor's just his arrogance and his I guess he's too brash in his actions, and the monster is there with Elizabeth, but he tells her to get away from it because he thinks the creature's dangerous, and he ends up shooting Elizabeth and instead of the creature. So this is a tragic moment for the creature, because now he's just, it's like the only person he ever had like a real relationship with. He was kind of feeling love, and Elizabeth kind of loved him too, because she felt like she wasn't meant for this world and all these wealthy snobs, and she just wanted true love. That's the feeling I was getting. And now he's alone once again. And there's another part of the story where he comes to like this little cottage, and of course there is a relationship with an old man who is blind, and of course so the old man can't see him, so there's no fear or anything there. And he's kind of been watching this family and kind of watching over them, and they say he's like the spirit of the forest. He protects them from these wolves that attack their livestock. But unfortunately, one day the wolves come back and they are basically maiming and mauling the old man to death. And the creature comes in and he tries to stop these wolves, and he fends them off. But then the hunters, the men in the family, they come back, and in their point of view, you have this creature standing here, and the old man's dead. So they believe that he killed the creature, or excuse me, that the creature killed the old man, which is not true. He was defending the old man. So then they chase him off, they shoot him, and it's just, again, he experiences loss and tragedy this time as well. And we just see how the world treats him and how he wants to just be accepted and live a life and feel love and love other people. And then his request to Victor is that he wants to have a companion, made just for him, somebody just like him. Of course, Victor refuses. And it's really just, it's an amazing tragedy, but it's a beautiful story as well, because we see in the end, as Victor is dying, he finally calls the creature his son, and the creature forgives Victor for everything that he's done, the way he treated him, and everything he's done to basically like try and play God, which is absolutely, as we can see in this movie, is a big no. Don't do it. All right, so anyway, that is just my rundown of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. It is visually beautiful. It's a great story. We have Victor's perspective and then the creature's perspective. Good romance, great effects, and Jacob Elordi killed it as Frankenstein's monster. I give this movie a solid 9 out of 10.